The most dangerous lie I ever told myself was that loyalty mattered more than leverage. I didn't just believe in the corporate ladder, I worshipped it. I sacrificed my 20s at its altar. I traded relationships for deadlines and sleep for quarterly goals. I thought I was building a legacy. I didn't realize until 10 years in, standing in a glass-walled conference room while the air conditioner hummed the only sound in the room, that I hadn't been building a career. I had just been keeping the seat warm for someone cheaper, younger, and less burdened by the promises they made to me. I trusted the timeline they gave me. I should have trusted the silence when I walked into a room. We crave structure, don't we? Especially when life feels chaotic. The timeline was my structure. It was laid out to me by my director, let's call him Alan, during my very first performance review. 2 years grinding here, 3 years managing the key accounts, and by 32, you're looking at junior partner. It was intoxicating. It was a roadmap to safety. I molded my entire identity around it. I bought a house based on a salary I didn't have yet because the timeline said it was guaranteed. I delayed proposing to my girlfriend because the optics wouldn't be right until phase 3. I was the first one in, the last one out. I wasn't just an employee, I was a true believer. But the shift didn't happen overnight. It wasn't an avalanche, it was erosion. It started when they hired Kevin. Bright-eyed, fresh out of grad school, and eager to please. Alan asked me to mentor him. Show him how we do things, he said, clapping me on the shoulder. I poured everything I knew into Kevin. My shortcuts, my client handling techniques, the political landmines I'd spent years mapping out. I thought I was training a subordinate. My ego didn't let me see that I was programming my own replacement unit. There were signs, glaring signs that I wallpapered over with faith in the timeline. Like when Alan started canceling our monthly strategy lunches. Too swamped, champ, let's push it, he'd say via text. Or when I stopped being copied on the emails regarding the flagship client, the one I landed. When I asked about it, the answer was always soothing. We're just freeing you up for the bigger picture stuff. I nodded. I believed it, because to disbelieve it meant admitting I'd wasted a decade. The moment it hit me wasn't dramatic. There was no shouting. There was no sudden firing. It was worse. It was cold, administrative bureaucratic violence. It was the big end-of-year restructuring meeting. The one where my junior partner status was supposed to be formalized. Alan projected the new organizational chart onto the screen. I scanned up to where my new box should be. It wasn't there. My eyes dropped down. My old box, the one I currently occupied, didn't have my name in it anymore. It had Kevin's. And then I found me, shunted off to the side in a newly created, vague box with no direct reports. Strategic Implementation Advisor. It was corporate speak for the waiting room. The place they park you until you get frustrated enough to quit so they don't have to pay severance. I looked at Alan. He was looking at his phone. I looked at Kevin. He was looking at the floor, but I could see the slight upward curve of a smile he was trying to suppress. The air left the room. The humming of the AC seemed deafening. I wasn't a valued future leader. I was a depreciating asset that had just been written down. The timeline was a fiction designed to extract maximum labor from me for minimum commitment from them. In that silent glass room, 10 years of sacrifices didn't amount to loyalty. They just amounted to 10 years gone. The hardest part wasn't the lost money or the damaged ego. It was the psychological freefall. The realization that my reality was built on their convenience. I learned a brutal lesson in power dynamics that day. A company will always choose its future P&L statement over its past promises to you. Don't fall in love with a timeline someone else wrote for you. Watch how they treat you when they think you aren't looking. Listen to the silence in the meetings. Those are the real signs. Have you ever clung to a promised future even when the present was screaming red flags? What was the moment you realized you were just a cog in their machine? Tell us your unspoken story in the comments below. We read them all. Subscribe if you want to hear the truths they don't teach you in orientation.